I'm Liz Findlay, and welcome to this podcast series on inspiring spiritual entrepreneurs. We'll be chatting with some of the wonderful business owners who come to Starseed Business Networking. This is a free monthly meeting I co-host on Zoom with Steve Nobel, and you can find details of the next meeting on the events page of my website, lizfindlay.com. Today, we have the pleasure of chatting with Rebekah Pyatt from Libra Light. She's an Akashic Records reader. She offers healing services, and she's got a YouTube channel where she does energy readings and meditations. So, Rebekah, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
And please share with us how you left your six-figure salary job as a senior business development manager for an IT company and started your own business, Libra Light.
Yes, that was a crazy day. It was June 10th, 2021. I'll never forget that date because it was a Cancer new moon. And there were a number of things that kind of led up to me handing my notice in on that day. So it wasn't planned. And actually, financially, it was a quite a silly thing to do because my husband had been quite ill and wasn't working, so I was the main breadwinner. And that day, though, it was as if the universe was saying you can't do anything but hand your notice in. So for the last 4 or 5 years in my corporate career, I'd been falling out of love with it. And don't get me wrong, I have massive appreciation for the career. I learned so much, which is helping me in this business now. But I was just starting to feel like this isn't what I'm here to do in this life. And sitting in boring IT meetings with men in grey suits staring out of the window, wishing, I was doing something else was really grating on me. So on that day, my emotions were all over the place. And I just felt that we could be doing so much more with our lives, myself and my husband, and we weren't. And our kids had left home, so we were in this big 5-bedroom house, rattling around it. I was miserable in my job, and the things that happened on the day were my daughter had a problem with her tyre, so I took her to work, which meant I was late for a meeting, which meant my boss wasn't very happy with me. And then we figured out it wasn't a bold tyre. I'd got it wrong. It was just 2 different tyres, and the mechanic came out and I felt stupid. So I went out for a walk to try and get control of myself because I was feeling that I wanted to hand my notice in. And I cried on the walk, came back, cried to my husband, I'm not happy. I just don't want to go on like this. This isn't how I want to live my life. Then he was against me handing my notice in. But I did it because anybody that knows me knows I'm very stubborn and don't do what I'm told. So I sent my notice in. And the next couple of months was kind of, what have you done? How are we going to survive? We had savings. How are we going to survive? Set Libra Lights up though, pushed on with it. Started off by providing tarot readings because I was a tarot reader. I did that back in 2013, but at the time I stopped doing the readings and concentrated on the sales career. And it was as if in 2021 those crossroads were there again, and this time I chose I'm going down the spiritual path. And then the universe guided me to this lady that was teaching people how to become Akashic Records practitioners, and I was like, that sounds right up my path. And I worked with Archangel Metatron anyway, who works in the Akashic Records, so I do think he guided me to do that. So qualified as an Akashic Records practitioner, and from there it's really taken off. And a lot of the work I do is online. So Gary and I, my husband, downsized, now in this 2-bedroom flat, downsized the car and decided to go to Portugal for 2.5 months in February of this year. So we did that. We travelled. I still provided my Akashic readings readings online. Then we've come back to this flat and settled in, and we absolutely love it. And it's all taking off. It's all working out. But it was what I call in the tarot a full card moment, because, you know, as I said, I was the only breadwinner at the time. Gary was ill, he'd been ill. And I don't think many people would have done what I did, but I stepped off that cliff a little bit naively, but I feel like the universe has caught me. And
well, it's very brave.
Yes.
But I think when you get the calling, you just have to. I had the same, reached a point in the property industry where I just hated going into work. I hated my job. And I was using weekends and evenings to recover for the next working day. And what kind of life is that? So you almost reach a point where there's no other option.
Yes, exactly.
Where you just have to. So that's amazing that you took that.
Yeah.
That leap of faith.
Yes. There was nothing else I could do. Like I said, on that day, it was as if there was no other option on that day. I'd started to the January before I handed my notice in, I'd had a dark night of the soul episode because a load of things had happened in my life all in one go. My sister attempted suicide. She's happy with me to talk about that. She's a recovering alcoholic and she talks about it on her platforms. My dog died of 12 years. Oh. And then I got a new puppy to cope with that, and he got run over by a car and he died of a virus. My husband had a brain bleed. And then the pandemic hit. So
just being thrown at you.
Yeah. So I had a dark night of the soul. And then I had a big awakening. Like my eyes were opened about so many different things. And then it got to June the 10th. I was like, I can't do this job anymore. I need to do something spiritual. I need to, you know, get these feelings out and do what I incarnated into this life to do. So
yeah,
I was shoved into this massive dark night of the soul and then a big awakening. And I'm so glad that happened, because I feel now that I'm doing what I was supposed to do in this life. And I've got so much more freedom. Like, we're planning to go away again.
And you don't have to request leave.
No, I don't. No. I can just travel and work. So we're actually going to travel a bit around the UK later in the year.
Nice.
Yes. So it's all led to the right place. But the day that I did that was just so, like, scary is what I'd say.
And so tell us how you use golf with your spirituality.
Yeah, so the last couple of years, Gary and I have taken up golf. And I would have never put golf with spirituality. But actually, it's been a really good way of helping me to ground when I play, because if you play in 18 holes, it's 3 or 4 hours outside amongst beautiful landscaped courses. And the one I play locally here, just lately, it's as if it's that clip out of Snow White where she's surrounded by all the forest animals. Like, I'm surrounded by baby rabbits, squirrels. Today I saw buzzards. There's always buzzards on a particular hole at this course. I picked gorgeous feathers up on the way around. Once I was playing on my own and there was nobody in front, nobody behind. So I actually took my shoes off and did some grounding in the grass.
Oh, nice.
Because nobody was in front and behind. And so this is one of the activities that really grounds me. But also there's a big kind of lesson in how to deal with frustration in golf, because every golfer knows some days you play really well and some days you play terribly. And that leads to a real anger and frustration. And it's like, just let it go. Let it go. Because if you let the frustration overtake you, you're going to play terribly. It happens every time. So if you can learn to just let that frustration go, you've had a bad hole, let's just recenter, ground, play the next hole, and then the game hopefully goes well. So it's a big lesson in letting go of frustration too. as well as helping me ground. So I never thought I'd say that about golf, but yes.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I didn't think that either, but so true about the surroundings.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So Rebekah, can you share one thing with us that has really helped in your business to help inspire us?
Yes. So I guess this is for people who, like me, are thinking of leaving a corporate career, a massive change in career, and setting up their own spiritual business. Like, the biggest learning curve that I had to go through was coming out of that corporate mindset every morning and connecting spiritually first thing in the day. Because I was in sales, I was selling IT software. The mindset there is so different to running a spiritual business or being a spiritual healer. It was more wake up in the morning, open your pipeline. What am I going to close today? What actions do I need to take? And I really struggle of getting out of that, because I'm more masculine. I need to work on my feminine side. I'm more action orientated. And obviously working with Archangel Metatron, he's very action orientated as well. So what I try and do when I wake up first thing now is work on my spiritual connection. So I do mantras, I do silent meditation. I might make myself a cacao drink and do a heart opening ceremony.
Oh, lovely.
First thing in the morning, so that I'm in that mindset and I'm not in, what are we going to do today to get the business going? And, you know, that's the biggest thing I'd say you need to work on, because without that spiritual connection, so that you can channel and connect with your higher self and get all the good stuff from the universe that you need if you're running a spiritual business and providing spiritual healing, it's just not going to be successful. So I'd say moving your mindset from 3D to 5D, isn't it? Moving your mindset
Yes.
from 3D to 5D first thing in the morning.
Well, that sounds like a great way to start the day. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Your journey. I loved the bit about the golf and the feathers and your lovely tip.
I have a feather here, actually, a hawk feather that I found earlier today.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I've got a peacock feather somewhere that I found in a park in London.
I'd love to find a peacock feather. Wow.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So thank you so much for joining us today. And for those of you who'd like to connect with Rebekah, she's got her YouTube channel, and that is Libra Light. So do go check out her readings and her meditations there. And her website is libralight.net. So thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.